Oh, I'm so sorry. Just want
It's all right. We should
knock
be.
it out of your
We
hand.
should be good.
I think so too.
I can't.
I won't be next to you this time.
Where do you want me then? Let me just make sure. Because I can't get in front of him. Right.
It's a cool fun. That's sweet.
Can you step that way or no? When I ask a question. Yes. Let's do that.
I got you. No, that's great actually. Yeah, that's better. Definitely.
And everyone is promised we know what's where it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as everyone knows there's a second camera here, I'm good.
So, like yesterday, the one is going out in 20 seconds, and the day after, I'll
Yeah, Jay Blackman again. Oh yeah, oh do I ever.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Estamos desde la Guardia Costera y del Comando de Boston, donde en breves instantes habrá una conferencia de prensa. La última actualización sobre la ruta de más información de
Stand there. Then just stand on the other side of this guy with the News Hub shirt there. Jess, just stand on the other side of this guy with the News Hub t-shirt. Problem solved.
I know it's
Problem solved. I'm okay. How you doing? Oh, where are you from? No, I'm not if he owes you money. I'm not. I am. You're Right, thanks. Okay, just be where I can see you, or it's. I think you're going to be right in the way.
There you go, Jonathan. Comfort is key. Thank you, John Henning.
Why didn't
That's fine. Just over by that restaurant over there that we're doing, there's like 3 reporters and BBC reporters. They keep kind of like circulating a little bit.
What do you think of the video?
So far, they have not put me down. There's
So you just didn't watch that video? It's just out of a That's awesome. Yeah, keep it like that.
Keeping it nautical.
Hello, I just have an announcement real quick. We will be beginning on time at 1 p.m. However, we need everyone to clear out by 1:30 today. You will no longer have base access after 1:30 this afternoon. So we need to get everyone cleared out as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the heads up.
So, Captain Jamie Frederick, speaking
Darla.
Yeah, so a company called Sax applied for the patent so nobody else but it's changed recently and a lot of companies are making specific US
Most important person
Oh, I'm not worried at all. I'm just here to make sure the shot stays
in my life.
so
Heads up.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Today we'll be hosting another press briefing to discuss any updates regarding the search and rescue case for the submersible Titan that's located approximately 900 nautical miles offshore in the vicinity of the wreck of the Titanic. Today we will have speaking Captain Frederick, Response Coordinator of the 1st Coast Guard District. He'll be giving a brief statement followed by about 10 minutes for questions and answers. Thank you so much again. Let me please introduce Captain Frederick.
Team up here. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Jamie Frederick with the 1st Coast Guard District, and I'll provide an update on our ongoing search efforts for the Titan submarine. Behind me, or beside me, I should say, you'll see several subject matter experts from the Unified Command who will introduce themselves momentarily. These individuals represent only a small fraction of the many dedicated professionals working around the clock on this complex response effort. We understand this is an extremely difficult time for the families of the missing crew members aboard the Titan, and our thoughts go out to them and the crew. The Unified Command team is working tirelessly to bring all available assets and expertise to bear as quickly as possible in response to this complex operation. And we remain in close contact with the family members and the crew to ensure they are fully aware of our current and future search efforts. Additionally, we have been in close contact with the British and French Consulates General to ensure that they are fully appraised of our efforts, and we are ensuring that their concerns are being addressed. We're incredibly grateful for the full spectrum of international assistance that has been provided, including an expert submariner from the Royal Navy, who's here with us serving aboard as a critical member of our team. Additionally, a team of highly trained French ROV operators departed St. John's last night are en route to aid the search. Moreover, our Canadian partners have been providing critical leadership and significant response capabilities since the beginning of our efforts. Again, this is an incredibly complex search operation requiring both surface and subsurface elements, and our unified approach is critical. The location of the search, 900 miles east of Cape Cod and 400 miles southeast of St. John's, makes it exceptionally difficult to mobilize large amounts of equipment quickly. In spite of those challenges, we've been able to provide continuous air and surface search assets, as well as additional ROV capability to search below the surface. We currently have 5 surface assets searching for the Titan, and we expect 10 total surface assets to search in the next 24 to 48 hours. There are 2 ROVs actively searching, and several more are en route and will arrive by tomorrow morning. We've received incredible support with aviation assets from our Coast Guard Air Station in Elizabeth City, the Air National Guard, and Canadian Armed Forces. Today there are 2 back-to-back P3 flights. One is ongoing now as I speak, totaling 14 hours of continuous on-scene coverage, and 2 C-130 flights, also one ongoing now, throughout the day and into the evening. Yesterday, a Canadian P3 detected underwater noises in the search area. As a result, ROV operations were relocated in an attempt to explore the origin of the noises. Although the ROV searches have yielded negative results, they continue. Additionally, the data from the P3 aircraft has been shared with our U.S. Navy experts for further analysis, which will be considered in future search plans. The surface search is now approximately 2 times the size of Connecticut, and the subsurface search is up to 2.5 miles deep, exponentially expanding the size of the search area. We also have to factor in the ever-changing weather conditions, currents, and sea states that expand the search area every hour. There's an enormous complexity associated with this case due to the location being so far offshore, and the coordination between multiple agencies and nations. We greatly appreciate the outpouring of support and offers to provide additional equipment. The Unified Command continues to prioritize assets and resources in order to provide the best capability in the most timely manner. This includes weighing multiple factors to identify the most effective resources available to the response operation, with careful consideration to timeliness of equipment arriving on scene, usefulness and ability to deliver assets to the search area. Over the past 48 hours, we have, through incredible unity of effort, mobilized and implemented a tremendous amount of expertise and response capability. In addition to the ships and aircraft previously mentioned, we've dispatched 2 subject matter experts from U.S. Navy NAVSEA SUPSALV, who will serve as search coordinators on scene for underwater search operations. So I've been stressing unity of effort a lot in this statement, and that's because it is absolutely critical to this complex operation. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the crew of the Titan and their loved ones. We will continue to work as hard and as quickly as possible in an effort to locate them. I will take a few questions, but before I do that, I do want I'm going to have each of the members of the team here just introduce themselves, and then I'll go ahead and take some questions.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Paul Hankins. I'm the Director for Salvage Operations with the U.S. Navy's Supervisor of Salvage.
Hello, I'm Carl Hartsfield from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Good afternoon, I'm Lieutenant Commander Rich Cantharia. I'm an exchange officer currently serving on the staff of Commander Submarines Atlantic at Norfolk, Virginia.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Commander Christy Butler, working closely with Captain Frederick from RCC Boston, Search and Rescue Mission Coordinator. Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. So a couple things. One, I think when you're in the middle of a search and rescue case, you always have hope. That's why we're doing what we do. With respect to the noises specifically, we don't know what they are, to be frank with you. The P3 detected noises. That's why they're up there. That's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they put sonar buoys in the water. The good news is, what I can tell you is we're searching in the area where the noises were detected, and we'll continue to do so. And we hope that when we're able to get additional ROVs, which will be there in the morning, the intent will be to continue to search in those areas where the noises were detected, and if they're continuing to be detected, and then put additional ROVs down in the last known position where the search was originally taking place.
Yeah, but these noises were coming at regular 30-minute intervals as reported.
I hadn't heard 30-minute intervals. So here's what I can tell you. I am not a trained ear for underwater aquatics. That's why we have a team of experts that are analyzing that data. That data was sent immediately to the Navy last night, and it was analyzed overnight. They're still looking at it, but I can tell you that it's inconclusive. But again, I think the important piece is we're searching in the area where the noises were detected.
Captain, you didn't talk about a timeline. Can you talk about what timeline you're working on in conjunction with the teams that are there?
It's a timeline in what respect?
How much oxygen they have left on?
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of, so we talked about the oxygen number. I think you're all tracking the oxygen number. I think there's an important point with that, though. The oxygen, that's just one piece of data, right? There are a lot of pieces of data that we need to consider, and we're continuously looking at that, and we'll continuously do that throughout the search. But that's not the only thing that's important, right? And right now our efforts are solely focused on the search. That certainly is a dialogue that's happening, but we're focused on searching at this point.
And this is a recovery or a rescue at this point?
Oh, this is a search and rescue mission, 100%. We are smack dab in the middle of search and rescue, and we'll continue to put every available asset that we have in an effort to find the Titan and the crew members.
Captain, are those ROVs, and can you confirm that some sort of rectangular object has been spotted? There was some sort of report about that, I don't know.
So a couple things. So the ROVs, each ROV brings different capability. The ROVs that are diving today, what's the depth on the
4,000 meters.
4,000 meters. And some additional ROVs that'll be arriving tomorrow have additional depth capability. With respect to an object, so yesterday one of the aircraft did see an object. I will tell you this: in search and rescue missions, when aircraft are flying continuously, there is stuff out in the ocean that is floating. We went back, we looked at it. It wasn't. We didn't determine it to be debris. We don't think it correlates with the case, and it is not uncommon at all during an active search to see things, and then we go and look at them. So.
Just part of BBC News. When were these noises first heard? How long did they persist for? And if I could also ask, do you have any information in terms of food and water that there might have on board the sub?
Yeah. So so several P3 flights have heard noises as yesterday, and we put assets there. We relocated assets immediately. With respect to food and water, it's my understanding there are some limited rations. I can't tell you exactly how much they have aboard, but they do have some limited rations aboard the vessel.
Speaking to the families, how much hope can you give them after hearing those noises?
Listen, I think you need to be careful. We need to have hope, right? But I can't tell you what the noises are. But what I can tell you is, and I think this is the most important point, we're searching where the noises are, and that's all we can do at this point.
Captain, there's clue right now about the status of the submersible and are the noises continuing now? Are they stopped?
So I just wanted to. So it was my understanding that the P3 had heard some noises today as well. But so I do want to take just an opportunity to invite Carl to the podium just to talk a little bit about. He has a little bit more expertise in underwater acoustics, and maybe just to speak to that in general, because again, there are noises below the surface of the ocean, and so I'll just turn it to Carl.
Carl, can you spell your name?
Yes, Carl Hartsfield. So again, Carl Hartsfield from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. So the ocean is a very complex place. Obviously, human sounds, nature sounds, and it's very difficult to discern what the source of those noises are at times, but I can tell you that this team has multiple sensors. They're in the area. They're sending data back expeditiously to the best in the world people to analyze that data, and then they're feeding the results of that analysis back to the unified team, and they're making decisions. So Woods Hole is here in an advisory role, but by our expertise, what I see is a very tight operational loop that's making decisions based on data, and nothing is ruled out. There have been multiple reports of noises, and every one of those noises is being analyzed, tracked, looked for patterns, and reported upon.
Can you describe what the noise? Can you describe what the noise sounds like that they're hearing?
Well, you know, the noises, again, very complex in the ocean. You have to be an acoustic analysis, and you have to have context. They're trying to put all the pieces together. The noises have been described as banging noises. But again, they have to put the whole picture together in context, and they have to eliminate potential man-made sources other than the Titan.
Is it possible? Is it possible that a ship in the ocean? Is it possible a ship in the ocean, or even some mammals out there, could mimic that kind of sound?
So I can tell you from my experience with acoustics that there are sounds by biologics that sound man-made to the untrained ear, but I can assure you that the people listening to these tapes are trained. There are a lot of vessels in the area, and they each make noise, right? So all of that has to be eliminated, and it's analysis over time. Plus, as the captain said, the team is searching in the right area. So if you continue to do the analysis, look for different patterns, and search in the right area, you're doing you know, the best you possibly can do with the best people on the case.
And Captain, apparently there was a deep ocean salvage system flyway that was sent there to the location. Can you tell if it's on site yet, and how it operates, and how long it would take to rescue it with that tape?
Which system is he speaking about? You know the system? What's the system that you're talking about?
It's called a flyway deep ocean salvage system.
That's just a hydraulic.
Yeah.
A crane.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. So that's a piece of equipment. It's a crane piece of equipment. There are a lot of pieces of equipment flowing in through St. John's right now. One thing I did want to mention, I think it's important. Some of the ROV capability that's arriving soon is really great, incredible capability. One thing I want to point out is that French team that's coming in to serve aboard with their equipment aboard a French ship. They bring some state-of-the-art equipment, and so once they get on, we're going to have more assets down to look, and we'll continue to put them where we think the best location is.
But if you were the search area expanded, how many days pass? Are you still optimistic that you're gonna find them?
So how many days? Did you ask how many days, or so?
How many days?
Well, so we have to remain optimistic and hopeful when you're in a search and rescue case. So we're right in the middle of the search and rescue case. So I don't want to get into a discussion about when that would end with respect to this case. What I will tell you, though, I'm happy to explain to you kind of how that process were to work. You know, the Coast Guard prosecutes search and rescue cases on a daily basis, and sometimes we don't find what we're looking for, and you have to carefully consider all of the factors, and there are a lot of factors you consider. And then after you consider all of those factors, sometimes you're in a position where you have to make a tough decision. We're not there yet. But if we continue to search, potentially we could be at that point. But again, we're not there yet, and that's a discussion that we will have with the family long before I'm going to discuss that here publicly.
What does the rescue operation look like? What does the rescue operation look like?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yeah, so I can't put a number on the, like, you know, I'm not going to put a percent. I don't have a percentage number. What I would tell you is that is just one data point, and there are more data points than that we have to look at. So right now we continue to search, and we'll have that later. Sure. So the report. So the noises were heard by a Canadian P3, and that was this morning and some yesterday. I don't know specifically or that 30-minute intervals, but again, I really think the important point to that is we're in the air, we're searching there. We moved assets and we're searching there, and we'll continue to do so.
What would the rescue operation look like?
Go ahead.
I don't know if you mentioned this yet. Is the vessel itself, what likelihood that it's actually still operable at this time? The vessel itself.
Yeah, I don't. So listen, whether it's operable or whether it's sitting on the ocean floor, whether it's in the sea column, whether it's in the surface, it's all speculation, and we're just not in the business of speculation. We're in the business of searching, and we're putting everything we can with the data we have to search for the vessel. And I think we'll take one more question. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah, so we asked for some additional subsurface support, and we got that through the Navy, through a liaison officer. He's just one of many team members, and we're greatly appreciative of the British government and all the support they've given us.
Can we expect a daily update now on this?
So I think the plan will be to do a daily like this. I'm not going to lock into that right now, but we'll keep you informed, and certainly if there's any major developments, we'll let you know. Thank you very much.
Really, did you say submarine? Sir, are you saying submarines are assisting?
Thank you so much for attending today's press briefing. That will
Royal
conclude
Navy
all
submarine
questions.
assisting? Well, whatever. He said subsurface, are you?
No.
What does that mean? They say no?
No.